Them versus us, a love story. In a world that often feels divided, love has a way of transcending boundaries, defying expectations, and challenging societal norms. Our journey together began in the midst of whispers and sideways glances, a testament to a connection that ran deeper than what others could see. From the moment we met, I felt an undeniable spark. There was something magical about her laughter and the way her eyes lit up when she spoke about her passions. She became my confidant, my partner in adventure, and the one who understood me like no one else. I saw beauty in her that went beyond the surface, a beauty anchored in her kindness, her strength, and her unwavering spirit. Yet, as our bond grew, so did the voices around us. Friends and family began to question our relationship. They tried to tell us how to feel, insisting that our love couldn't be real. Their concerns felt heavy, a weight we didn't understand. After all, how could anyone tell us what we felt in our hearts? In those moments of doubt and scrutiny, we leaned on each other. We found solace in our shared laughter, in quiet evenings spent talking for hours, and in the comfort of knowing we were truly seen for who we were. Our love was a sanctuary, a place where we could be our true selves, free from judgment or expectations. It was through this love that I discovered the strength I never knew I had. She became my rock, reminding me daily of the beauty of authenticity. With her, I felt like I could face anything. The world might not accept us, but together, we could create a life filled with laughter, joy, and deep connection. As we navigated the complexities of being in love in a world with rules and limitations, we found resilience in our partnership. We learned to celebrate each small victory, from stealing moments in public to boldly holding hands in defiance of the opinions of others. The truth is, I love her more than I ever thought possible. She has become my everything, my joy, my comfort, my light on the darkest days. Without her, I know my life would be stark and lonely, filled only with pain and the emptiness of unexpressed love. So, while the voices around us may continue to murmur and doubt, we know our truth. Our love is real, powerful, and deserving of a place in the world. With every shared moment, we build a beautiful tapestry of memories, proving that love knows no bounds and that, together, we can face whatever comes our way. As time went on, our love story unfolded in unexpected ways. The initial whispers from friends and family began to fade, but their doubts lingered in the background like a distant hum. We found ourselves at a crossroads, wanting to share our love more openly while still feeling the weight of the world's gaze. One crisp autumn afternoon, we decided to take a leap. The vibrant colors of the leaves surrounding us seemed to reflect our emotions, bold, bright, and alive. We visited a local coffee shop, a favorite spot of ours, where we shared countless conversations over steaming mugs, our laughter echoing against the walls. Today felt different, like it held the promise of something special. As we sat across from each other at our usual table, I took a deep breath, my heart racing. What if we shared our story? Not just with our friends but on social media? I want to celebrate us, not hide in the shadows any longer, I said, my eyes locked onto hers. Her brows furrowed as she considered the idea. I could see the flicker of uncertainty in her eyes, but she smiled softly. Are you sure? Everyone will see, and I'm not sure how they'll react. I reached for her hand, intertwining my fingers with hers, grounding us in that moment. I know. But if we're going to do this, we need to do it together, as we always have. A moment of silence hung between us as we both contemplated the implications. Finally, she nodded, determination shining in her gaze. Okay. Together, then. That evening, we sat side by side, choosing the perfect pictures that captured our journey, the smiles, the laughter, the quiet moments of intimacy. Each photo told a part of our story, and it felt right to honor the love we shared. With a few clicks, we posted our story to social media, sharing our favorite memories and the message that love comes in many forms, and ours was no exception. A mixture of excitement and anxiety bubbled within me as we hit post. Almost immediately, notifications began to flood in, likes, comments, and messages from friends and acquaintances alike. The responses varied. Some were supportive, eager to cheer us on. Others were uncertain, prompting questions about how our love could be real. Yet, amid the mixed reactions, we found comfort in each other, knowing that we had taken an important step in embracing our truth. Days turned into weeks, and the conversations continued. Friends reached out, wanting to understand our perspective better. Some had never considered the depth of our relationship. For them, it was a revelation. We shared our experiences, our fears, and our dreams, and with each discussion, our love felt more validated. But as we navigated newfound acceptance, there were also difficult moments. A few friends struggled to reconcile their beliefs with our reality. I could see the pain in my partner's eyes when she received messages filled with confusion or judgment. It hurt to watch her grappling with the rejection of those she had once held dear. One evening, after a particularly tough day, she curled up next to me, tears spilling freely. Maybe we were foolish to think we could change anyone's mind. It hurts so much to feel like we have to fight for our love. I wrapped my arms around her, pulling her close. We didn't choose this battle, but it's ours to face together. Remember, for every person who doubts us, there are many more who love us just as we are. Our truth matters, and we have to hold on to that, no matter what. As the months passed, we grew stronger, learning to lean into one another during challenging times. We took joy in the small victories, in those who stood by us, in the moments when acceptance outweighed doubt, and in the growing community of allies who lent their voices to ours. We began to explore a new chapter together, one filled with hope and excitement. As spring approached, we decided to take a weekend trip to a nearby city known for its vibrant LGBTQ+ scene. It was a place where we could be ourselves without fear, and the thought brought a renewed sense of joy. The weekend proved to be transformative. We wandered hand in hand through art-filled streets, celebrated at vibrant pride events, and connected with other couples who had walked similar paths. It was liberating to see love in so many forms, each unique and beautiful. In the midst of the festivities, we stumbled upon a small art gallery showcasing works by queer artists. One piece caught our attention, a stunning painting of two women wrapped in golden light, smiling into each other's eyes. It felt like a reflection of our own love, a testament to the beauty that can flourish when one dares to be authentic. As we stood there, captivated by the artwork, I turned to her. This is what we are, beautiful, radiant, and unafraid to shine. We both smiled, a sense of peace enveloping us. In that moment, surrounded by vibrant colors and heartfelt expressions of love, we understood that our journey was just beginning. Together, we would continue to challenge perceptions, embrace our truth, and celebrate the love that had blossomed against all odds. And as we strolled through the city streets, hands entwined, we knew that no matter what lay ahead, we would face it side by side, ready to write our own story, one filled with love, courage, and the unwavering belief that our love was worth every fight. As winter thawed into spring, our life together flourished in ways we had never imagined. The experiences from our weekend trip had ignited a spark in both of us, encouraging us to embrace not just our love, but the community around us. We wanted to be more than just a couple, we wanted to be advocates for our love, for those who felt unseen or unheard. We began volunteering at a local LGBTQ+ youth center, a safe haven for teens and young adults grappling with their identities and searching for acceptance. Each Friday evening, we would arrive at the center, our arms laden with art supplies, ready to help the kids express themselves through creative projects. One afternoon, while guiding a group of young women in a painting workshop, I noticed a girl sitting quietly in the corner, her gaze fixed on the canvas before her. She seemed lost in thought, her brush poised but unmoving. I approached her gently, kneeling beside her to offer a smile. "Hey there," I said softly. "What's on your mind?" She looked up, hesitating before finally speaking. "I don't know if I can paint. I don't feel good about who I am." Her words struck a chord, and I felt a pang of empathy for the struggle she was facing. I glanced over at my partner, who was engaged with another group, her laughter bubbling like sunlight. I took a deep breath, recalling our own journey in the importance of being seen. "That's okay," I replied, offering my hand to her. "You don't have to paint anything perfect. This is all about expressing yourself. It's a safe space here. You can just let whatever you're feeling flow onto the canvas." With my encouragement, she dipped her brush into a bright blue paint and began to create. As she worked, I could see the tension slowly melting away from her shoulders. It was a small victory, but it filled me with hope. It reminded me of those moments with my partner when we had felt uncertain and scared, only to find our true colors shining through when we dared to be vulnerable. After the workshop, my partner and I shared our insights over coffee. "You have such a gift for connecting with people," she said, her eyes sparkling. I could see how you made her feel comfortable just by being there. "Thanks," I replied, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear. "I just remember how hard it was for us to find that connection when we were younger. If I can help even one person feel a little less alone, it's worth it." Seeing the enthusiasm in each other's eyes sparked an idea. What if we could create our own initiative, a community project that provided safe spaces for young LGBTQ+ individuals to express themselves through art, writing, and storytelling? We began brainstorming, drafting plans for workshops and events that could amplify voices and celebrate diversity. With the support of the Youth Center, we organized our first event, Voices of Color. We reached out to local artists, writers, and musicians to share their stories and showcase their talents, creating an atmosphere of acceptance and creativity. We booked a charming little venue downtown, complete with gallery space for artwork and a small stage for performances. As the date approached, excitement and nerves intertwined. Would people come? Would they connect with what we had created? But what kept my heart steady was knowing we were doing this together, hand in hand, side by side. The night of Voices of Color arrived, and the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation. The venue filled with vibrant energy as people began to filter in, faces both familiar and new. We welcomed guests at the door, a sense of accomplishment radiating between us as we saw LGBTQ+ youth mingling, laughing, and sharing their stories over artisanal snacks and rainbow-themed decorations. Among the performances, we watched young artists command the stage, their words powerful and their messages resonating. The stories we heard, of love, loss, and hope, echoed our own journeys, weaving a tapestry of experience that left us all in awe. It was during a particularly moving spoken word performance that I looked over at my partner. Her face was illuminated by the soft glow of the lights, her expression a mix of pride and joy. In that moment, I was reminded of our own struggles, the doubts we faced, the love we fought for, and the beauty we discovered in ourselves and in each other. As the night came to a close, an audience member approached us, tears glistening in her eyes. "Thank you for creating this space," she said softly, her voice trembling. "I've never felt so seen before. It means everything." Her words pierced my heart, and I felt a warmth spread through my chest, knowing that our efforts had made an impact. Overwhelmed with emotion, I turned to my partner, who reached for my hand, squeezing it tightly. As we wrapped up the event, we exchanged smiles with one another, our hearts full of gratitude. We had taken a leap into the unknown, and it had led us to a moment of connection, not just between the two of us, but within a community that we both cherished deeply. As we cleaned up, our thoughts drifted to the future. We imagined what it would be like to expand our initiative, to reach even more people who needed safe places to share their stories and be heard. With the support of newfound allies and the encouragement of those we had met that night, we felt a fire ignite within us, one that propelled us to keep pushing boundaries and creating change. That summer, as the sun painted the sky in shades of orange and pink, we took our next bold step, crafting our dream into reality, an inclusive arts festival, a celebration of love, identity, and expression that would be open to all. It would be a monumental effort, but we knew that together we could make it happen. With our hearts intertwined, we set forth, not just dreaming of a world where love and acceptance thrived, but working diligently to create it, one story, one connection at a time. As summer approached, the air filled with excitement and anticipation for our upcoming Inclusive Arts Festival, Love Beyond Labels. The planning meetings transformed our small apartment into a hub of creativity and collaboration, as we gathered with artists, musicians, and local advocates who shared our vision. We brainstormed ideas for workshops, performances, and art displays, ensuring every voice would be heard. Despite the enthusiasm, doubts crept in as the festival date drew closer. Would we attract enough attendees? Would we secure the funding necessary to bring our vision to life? One evening, overwhelmed by the weight of uncertainty, I stared at the stack of papers on our dining table, listing tasks that still seemed daunting. My partner noticed my frustration and gently placed her hand on my shoulder. "Hey, look at how far we've come. Remember when we started at the youth center? This began as a small idea, and look at the connections we've made. We've built an entire community around it." Her words struck a chord, pushing aside the fear that had been building within me. I took a deep breath and focused on the little victories, the smiles of the kids at the center, the praise from artists who joined us, the conversations that blossomed in our living room. Together, we were creating something beautiful, and that alone was worth celebrating. As the festival day arrived, a vibrant energy pulsed through the park where our event would take place. Colorful banners waved in the gentle breeze, and laughter echoed as vendors set up their booths. The scent of food and the sound of live music filled the air, creating an inviting atmosphere. People began to arrive, more than we had dared to hope. Families, couples, and friends, each person drawn to our celebration of love and acceptance. Our hearts swelled with gratitude as we witnessed the diversity of the crowd, a mix of individuals of all ages and backgrounds, all unified in their support for one another. Throughout the day, we hosted workshops where participants explored different art forms, from painting to prose. We provided sacred spaces for conversations about identity and acceptance, where attendees shared their stories and experiences. The connections we witnessed were profound, hugs exchanged, tears shed, and shared moments of understanding that spanned generations. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the festival, we gathered everyone together for the closing ceremony. My partner and I stood before the crowd, hand in hand, our hearts beating in rhythm with the joyous atmosphere. "Thank you all for being here today," I began, my voice steady though my emotions surged. This festival is not just a celebration of art and expression, it's a celebration of who we are, of love, resilience, and community. We have seen so much beauty today, and it's all because of you. My partner continued, "Together, we've built a space where everyone feels welcome, valued, and loved. And as we leave here today, let's carry this spirit outside of these park boundaries. Let's continue to support one another and advocate for love in all its forms." The crowd erupted in applause, and I felt a swell of hope wash over us. In that moment, I understood what we had created, a family bound not by blood but by shared experiences, collective dreams, and unconditional support. As the last rays of sunlight dipped below the horizon, we invited local artists to perform. Songs filled with themes of love, acceptance, and courage echoed around us, igniting a sense of unity. We danced, laughed, and celebrated long into the evening, a colorful tapestry of joy woven from our collective stories. When the stage lights dimmed and the crowd dispersed, I turned to my partner, overwhelmed by emotion. "We did it. We actually created something incredible." She smiled, her eyes shimmering with happiness. "We didn't do this alone. This was built on the love and connection of our community. We're just lucky enough to have played a part." That evening, as we walked hand in hand under the moonlight, we reflected on our journey. From our first hesitant steps in love, facing doubt and rejection, to standing proudly in front of our community, celebrating the beauty of every unique story. We knew this was just the beginning. We had sparked something powerful, a movement fueled by love and acceptance. Together, we made a promise to continue our advocacy, to keep the conversation alive, and to forge spaces where vulnerability and connection thrived. As we stepped into the future, the path ahead glimmered with possibility. With our hearts intertwined and our dreams aligned, we were ready to embrace every challenge, joy, and story yet unwritten, knowing that whatever came next, we would face it together, bound by love, courage, and an unwavering belief in the beauty of being our true selves. And in the end, that was what mattered most. Together, we were not just a couple, we were a force of light, a testament to the strength of love, and a beacon of hope for those still seeking their own path in the world.